In the last episode, I covered the differences between stealth and invisibility in both ROTWK and AOTR. In this episode, I'll delve into Vanilla's hero Thranduil and the great addition he is to a stealth strategy, showing how he is perhaps the most unique hero across all BFME games. And I'll explore how some of his abilities have transferred over to AOTR in some fairly interesting ways, such as to even rare structures being able to use them. There is a little bit of overlap between this episode and the last, and will continue to be in the next episode, but this is to be expected. Regardless, there's plenty of insightful info you won't want to miss. Thranduil is a somewhat underrated hero in my opinion. For myself, he's never been a go-to hero, as he requires a good deal of micromanagement. But if you take the time, it's surprising what all he can really do if you set your mind to it. For one, he is the only hero in the vanilla game, apart from a custom hero you can make yourself, who has the ability to stealth at all. As he levels up, his passive stealth ability can turn from stealthing while standing still to stealthing while moving, and this is a permanent passive ability. The only thing which reveals that stealth is if he attacks, but at a later level, he gets an ability unique in all of the game, to be able to attack while still stealthed, but only in trees.
The rotten snakes are hiding!
Show them no mercy! Dismiss them!
Notice the Palantir power removes his stealth, but only temporarily, just like any other unit. So even though he is a hero, abilities that remove stealth do work on him as well. Like the Mirkwood archers seen in the last episode, he can turn invisible on 9.3 and later, and he cannot be revealed if bumped into, which is not the case in the old 9.0 versions. However, this is not the case with his Wild Walk ability. 9.3 and later, he can be bumped into and revealed. However, a good player will stay aware of any changing situation, and have him quickly and easily slip away with his powerful ability to move while stealthed. Thranduil has a very powerful level 10 ability, Thorn of Vengeance, that also does not reveal his stealth. This is an uncanny ability in that you can snipe heroes from quite the distance without being seen at all. It can be quite the game changer to be readying up for a big battle, keeping your main hero protected, and then he's suddenly gone. Thranduil's Move Unseen ability is a powerful one, but its description can be a little misleading. Here are some things it does not work on. Thranduil can also stealth a decent-sized group of units, the only hero in the game to do so. While he cannot stealth creatures like Ents, stealthed units can be very effective at sneaking past base defenses on stealth raids, long enough to hit a high-priority target. They are revealed once attacking, but they can quickly go back into stealth to run away. However, they can accidentally reveal themselves by just getting too close to the enemy, not even bumping them. But otherwise, this ability is incredibly effective, as it works on both heroic units and heroes alike. Because your stealth units can be revealed by getting too close to enemies, stealth raids like the one shown a moment ago can go awry if you don't guide the stealth units away from enemy units, as in this case. If they had just gone around the enemy units towards the top or the bottom, this raid would not have ended so badly. Be a little patient, and Thranduil's stealth can work wonders for small skirmishes or raids. That little bit can add up quite a lot over time. It can be confusing how stealth works with cavalry though. As you can see, cavalry death stealth right before they hit their target and then stealth again after the trample, making them essentially ghost riders. All the enemy can do is hear them coming. Very cool. As you can see, this can turn the tide of a battle quite well, if in the right hands. While cavalry can mow down archers pretty easily, too many archers will be their downfall. Let's watch a good example of the difference between no stealth and then with stealth. This is 3 Rivendell Lancers versus 6 Uruk crossbowmen, so the cavalry are outnumbered 2 to 1.
We protect the house of Elrond. The fighting has begun. Yeah! Onward!
Notice how the archers keep clumping together as they are pursuing and targeting my cavalry. This keeps them from having any weaker spots in their clumped formation. I can't target stragglers, and they don't separate themselves to make tramples easier. Not to mention, as I move past, they keep picking me off. Now let's watch how they do under Thranduil's stealth. While my cavalry are still spotted from this distance, you'll notice that it's not long before the enemy cannot target them anymore, and instead just move away from them by default. This makes their formation less clumped, and thus more prone to my trampling them. I'm able to target stragglers as they separate too, and of course they can't pick me off as I move past and around them to look for weak points. Because this stealth power only lasts so long though, I have to move fast to hit them just right. As you can see, while they took some casualties, this was a major turnaround, and they even gained a level, allowing them to heal up and replace the units they lost. This is pretty incredible, having been outnumbered 2 to 1 and no buffs or debuffs in play. Lack of targeting can go a long ways to victory. Now granted, this was just against an AI. A player may behave somewhat differently. A smart player will help keep his units close together even when fleeing. However, they will take more damage if their backs are exposed to attacks, as it counts as flanking damage. Something to keep in mind. It's why you gotta try to have pikes in with either ranged or melee units. Unsure of just how effective this stealthing can be in other battles? Let's take a quick look at how a small skirmish would do without Thranduil's stealth. This is just 4 of your basic elven archers against 4 Isengard crossbowmen. Let's see how it goes.
Come together. They attack. We must stand against them.
Okay, well, what if they tried to flank them? far worse outcome. Now granted, they could potentially have gone a bit farther around, but that's not the point of this demonstration. The point is to flank in as short a space and distance as possible. Now let's see how they do if they could be stealth.
Take all precautions. Ready, elves. Settle. Equip. Our hearts must be defended. Stay focused, elves.
Quite a bit better. Having an army stealthed while on the move can be a good way of causing confusion and letting your units flank the enemy without taking damage. You just have to be sure to have those units in guard stance by hitting the G key, otherwise they'll auto attack. Then just switch to normal stance by hitting the F key. Flanking causes bonus damage, so it's always worth it when possible. As you can see, it turned this lost battle into a fairly resounding victory, and flanking provides bonus damage for archers, melee troops, and cavalry. As you can see, Thranduil is most certainly a worthwhile investment of time and money if you want to take the time to micro him and troops with him. There are 3 last points to consider for Thranduil's Move Unseen ability. 1. He cannot stealth siege of any kind, not even battering rams.
We must reclaim our forests.
But far more impressively, he can stealth major summons like the Balrog and Angmar's giant wolf. And as you can see, he can even stealth fellbeasts and the flying hero Drogoth. Perhaps most impressive of all, though, is he can stealth the 2 ring heroes, Sauron and Galadriel, for the crazy team players out there who like using them.
Cast aside your doubts.
Imagine this happening to you. This covers about everything there is for stealthing units with Thranduil in the vanilla game. AOTR's Thranduil is considerably different, having no stealth at all, so obviously will not be covered in this series. But what about some of the other heroes of AOTR related to stealth? I covered a few of AOTR's heroes in the last episode, like Pippin, ROTWK, and the ring heroes Bilbo and Frodo, while touching on some others. But let's take a brief closer look so you can see just how some of Thranduil's abilities have transferred over to some of them. This will help you understand just how unique ROTWK's Thranduil really is in the BFME games. For starters, Thranduil's Wild Walk ability has not been carried over to AOTR, nor his ability to attack while stealthed and not reveal it. But his Move Unseen ability has been transferred over, so a number of heroes across several different factions can stealth heroes and normal units alike with this power, such as Radagast and Arwen. Even some special structures can do this, such as Rohan's Pukelman statue summoned from its spellbook. I covered the differences between the two last episode, but suffice to say, invisibility is not the same as stealth. So these units or heroes briefly affected can be revealed if too close to an enemy, or if they attack, just like in ROTWK.
The enemy is at hand.
These stealthing powers work in some interesting ways concerning special abilities. Here we have various heroes from the Rivendell faction. The player will have various abilities used while they're stealthed by Arwen, abilities which summon objects, buff themselves, create effects around them, etc. You'll notice that none of them cause these heroes themselves to be revealed, even if their summons are.
Keep us safe.
Also, take note that the creatures are not stealthed. No creature or monster in the game can be stealthed, just like in ROTWK. And summons brought into play either before or after stealth are not stealthed either. And this goes for guard summons cast on other units, not just summons cast on the same unit itself. Oddly, the Beastmaster single unit is also not stealthed. Single units interact with stealth in unusual ways in AOTR. Either it's a bug or stealthing affects certain single units, but it does affect Revelers, and they can use their Akalabeth ability, coming out of stealth for just a second before they get right back in. Interestingly, they are not revealed at all whilst using their debuff on enemies though. But reveal themselves whilst debuffing structures. So there could be some odd bugs here for certain single units being affected over others and their abilities. Not sure, honestly. It is a welcome thing for Revelers to be stealthed though. They're such vulnerable units. with the short cooldown of Arwen's stealth power, all the better. And Revelers might be the only siege unit which can be stealthed in the game. As you can see, these stealthing powers don't work on other siege units, not even battering rams. Now I mentioned briefly that creatures and monsters cannot be stealthed in AOTR. This is true of all of your typical ones, but there is a major exception to this. You can stealth the great summons like the Balrog, Black Matriarch, Eagles, and more. Furthermore, you can stealth the fellbeasts of Mordor and the ring hero Smaug. Which means if you're playing against Mordor and Rivendell teamed up with the Misty Mountains, this could happen to you. Happy hunting, everyone! As you've seen, what you can do with stealth in AOTR continues to outshine anything possible in the vanilla game. However, to be fair, Vanilla's Thranduil still remains one of the coolest and most unique heroes across all BFME games. While AOTR has heroes and structures to stealth other units, no AOTR hero can also by default at any level walk around and do major damage from afar while unseen. In other words, Thranduil has it all in one, baby. Definitely worth going back to that one. In the next episode, I'll cover the mist and structure stealth powers to be found in both ROTWK and AOTR. They offer some fairly eye-opening potential you won't want to miss.